What's up, guys? My name is Stephen Guidani, 5 Tool Sports Science. We're going to be doing a breakdown today of Ryan. Ryan is his Instagram is Ryan at Project Velo. He wanted me to give a shout out. He's got on a journey to reach 85 miles per hour. I think that's really cool. So he sent in a video for an analysis, and I want to help him out with an analysis. So let's get started with him and see if we can help him out. All right, Ryan, let's get you started in the leg lift. The first thing I see, you're kind of just coming to this balance point. All right, and you're not picking up any momentum out of leg lift. You're not riding with your hips forward and down into your load and picking up momentum. Momentum is just free energy that you get to use, and you're really not utilizing it out of your leg lift. So what I would like to see you do is out of leg lift, immediately start moving with your hips forward. So if we draw a line to start, let's take this one away. Hips are starting here. As you start to move into your load, you kind of just sink down. Okay, and your hips, you really don't pick up any distance, you don't pick up any momentum. You just go from that high leg lift, and then you just kind of sit into your load, okay? And we'd like to see it where it's like your hips are starting to move more forward and down the mound, all right? You're picking up more momentum as you're loading. You're just not loading into a lot of hip abduction, you're kind of just sitting into a little bit of flexion here, all right? So when we start moving you forward, what I really like, you do a really good job of keeping your shoulders closed, all right? My pen isn't working so hot right now. So you keep these shoulders really closed, all right? You have a lot of horizontal abduction, a lot of trunk rotation, so that's initially gonna set you up with a lot of separation between your hips and your shoulders, all right? But when you start going forward, you start relying on a little bit too much momentum of this front leg. Pull it back a little bit here. So this front leg is starting to pull you. Man, I don't know why my pen's not working right now. There it goes. This momentum, this front leg momentum is starting to pull you out of your load. So you're getting pulled out of your back hip positioning, out of your flexion of your ankle, your knee, and your hip. You're all pulled out. So again, I talk about this like in a vertical jump. You're moving into, in a vertical jump, you're in a counter movement, you load into flexion of the hip, the knee, and the ankle, and then you're going to power through extension, all right, to push force through the ground, to propel you, to accelerate you. Your front side is pulling you all out of this position. You don't really have anything to power and push out of. You're all pulled out of flexion already, all right? So as you start to go forward, you're trying to, here you're trying to get a little bit of ankle kick. I can see you trying to power it through here. But let's get you right into front foot strike. Boom. Right there. So you're trying to get it through, but your hips are still a little bit late. All right, so you're really not powering that hip through, and that's really not going to allow you to pass energy through the pelvis up the chain. So to get your kinematic sequence going, you want to power that energy through the pelvis a lot more efficiently, and because you're not loading that well, you're not really riding your momentum, you're really not riding your momentum from your leg lift into a good load position and then powering your pelvis through a good back leg drive to pass energy through that kinematic sequence. You're really not doing that great on that. You're starting to pull this glove side a lot too, and a lot of that is because of the hip. If you can't pass energy through the hip, your upper body is going to start to compensate to try to put the same amount of force on the ball. So you're going to start to pull that glove side. That's going to start to kill your separation, and then that can lead to arm problems and stuff as well. So big thing for you is powering that hip open. You're doing a decent job of keeping it closed, but you are pulling that glove side a little bit too much. The third thing is when you can't create enough linear energy through that back leg drive, and a lot of this can be hip mobility issues and stuff as well. You could have some tight, hip extension. You could have some tight hip internal rotation. All right, but you're going to land in this more acute angle. Man, my pen is just giving me all kinds of attitude. Come on. You're going to land in this more acute angle in that front leg, and what we would like to see is you landing a little bit more obtuse. So your force vector is going to be ankle to knee, to where you can push this energy back into the trunk more efficiently, which is going to allow you to get more forward trunk tilts and then ultimately more energy into the baseball. So at this angle, your force vector is just a little too upright. A lot of that energy that you want to push from the ground from that front side is not going to go back into the trunk. All right, so when we move forward, another big thing, arm external rotation. So your arm is just not wanting to lay back into external rotation. This is, gosh, I don't know, 150 degrees, and we want to see, 180 degrees. Why are you giving me so much attitude today? Ay, ay, ay. All right, well, there we go. That would be 180 degrees, so you got more room that you can go in your external rotation as well. Okay? Going forward into pitch release. Oops, passed it. Want to get right on it. There it is. All right, ball's leaving your hand here. No front leg extension, and that trunk is pretty upright, okay? So, ball's out of your hand, you're not getting that good front leg extension, and then more forward trunk tilts into pitch release. The big things that you're gonna need to work on, Ryan, you're going to need to get more momentum out of your leg lift. As you start to lift that leg, you got to get your momentum to start moving down the mountain. 2, you got to start learning how to load better into that back leg as you're getting that momentum. All right, let's pull you back to it. So as you start to move down the mound from that leg lift position, we got to keep you more inside your drive leg and get you to start loading into more flexion and moving farther down the mound, okay? Then we got to get you to start to kill this front side, swinging and pulling you open, all right? That's really hurting you. It's pulling you all out of your flexion, and then you can't drive, all right? So now when we got a third, or like the fourth thing, we got to get you driving better to power the pelvis open, to create more separation, and start to power that kinematic sequence, all right? Also, more external rotation in the throwing arm. So a lot of that is like your arm care, making sure that you got a good progressive linear arm care routine, and just working on getting more external rotation in the throwing arm, because that's a lot of velo just right there. We need more forward trunk tilts. We need more front leg extension. All right, so there's quite a few things that you can work on in this. But I mean, shoot, you're throwing 77 right now just in that, and there's a lot of things you can work on in your mechanics. So I don't think you're too far off from your goals, man. Just keep lifting, keep eating right, keep sleeping, and keep working on your mechanics. And if there's anything I can do to help, man, just let me know. All right, best of luck, Ryan. Hope you get to that goal, man. Let me know when you get to it. All right, take it easy.